women's rights was in a layman's language. Assuming I don't know anything, maybe this is what you are even looking for in wives when we were saying this is WRAPA. Maybe this is what Madam there was trying to hear us say. Please, can somebody here tell us what is women's rights? Women's rights in a layman language. I don't know anything. You want to explain to me? Please, can somebody give them mic? Yes. I'll tell you ask. Give her chair first now.
Are you talking about
she's standing up
woman right?
And her leg. Women's right.
Women's right.
Yes, ma'am.
It has not universal single sentence accepted definition. But it will be defined as to defend a woman.
This woman is standing. Give it to her. Oh yeah. What is women's right? In layman's language.
Women's rights, or we can say, is it girls' right? Yes, women. Women's rights is free hands to handle any situation that comes our way without violation, without any abuse, without any violence. She's a woman.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
What I said, one of the definitions I've been giving, in the first one I said it has no universal single sentence accepted definition, but it could be defined as to defend the right of a woman. Simple. Thank you very much.
To defend the rights of the women. Is it to defend the rights of the women? We are talking of what is women's rights. It's not to defend, you are not really defending. Sir, because you are defending every day. Okay, defending every day.
We can as well agree that women's rights are those rights that they are entitled for, as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution.
We are all talking, and there is eagerness for us to participate. Let's start for ourselves.
What you are supposed to have as a woman. What is duly yours as a woman?
Duly yours. Duly yours. Thank you. Yes, Mama.
In addition to what you say, I think women's rights are like the freedom of the woman. The woman having freedom or access to freedom.
Thank you. Thank you.
Women's rights are human rights. Before I would call the woman a first a human being entitled to free and fair treatment on this earth. So I'm first a woman, I'm a woman, but I'm first a human being. If you remove my skin and that of the photographer, our skeleton is the same. So whoever says because I'm a woman I don't get this is simply a societal defect.
Okay now. I think we are good. We all understand women's rights. But I'm going to come in another perspective. But we actually do not even know what he's supposed to do for us. How many of us have happened? God bless you. It has happened to me separately. That thing maybe is a product to God. I can serve other purposes. But because you've not been able to access that manual, you are suffering. It can be your simple Android phone. It can be your. So at the end of the day, we're like, no! So I'm talking suffering all this while. That is what we do. They are there. They are not deniable. Some cannot do it. But something has provided for it. It's called international framework. It's called national framework. One of us has called the 1999 Constitution. I can call it VAWG. I can call it GO. Some accepted laws. Even the criminal code. They have said those things about you. Okay? And we'll manage our time very well. But I want to plead with us because this is a very active class. I've never seen adults very active like this before. Clap for yourselves. You want to understand volunteer rules. Maybe that was what Madam was looking out for too early. that only when we just talk of what is WRAPA and who is WRAPA, we should be able to address them. This is the one that will address them now. Thank you, Adoba. Understand the concept and importance of women's rights advocacy. And third, we want to, by the time we leave this meeting, recognize the significance of volunteerism in advancing gender equality. Thank you. The next thing here, after the objective, is telling us what do we expect. Can Auntie Adiza and Auntie Zulaika give the yellow and red and whatever papers by state? By state. If you give yellow to Kogi, give red to, so that you will write your expectations from this trade. What's your expectations? Adiza will collect and they will keep. No, one more for interest. But if it will be yellow for all, you can share for her. Please, just simple. What are my expectations? It is not for anything. You don't need to put your name. What are my expectations? At the end of this training, what do I want to gain? So that at the end of the training, we will now read the view out and ask whether you have been able to gain those things you wanted. You can use your Bible. The volunteers, including them, expectations, especially on this one that's looking for volunteers. What exactly do I want to take out? Thank you. If Adiza take that from them, they don't want to write here, but they want to vocalize it here. But they want to speak about it. You can listen and write that for them. Right? 2, 3, what's your shopping list? When you can say, okay, how much are you taking to the market? What those shopping lists we make? Dig, short, what are we expecting? Some of you learned family to be here. What do you expect to become? Their own volunteers did not come here. So please, you are model, Minna. That's Niger. Volunteers are model. You can be online when Plateau is training. You can be online when Nasarawa is training at 10. So please, let's understand that we are trained to go and train others. And if you don't have any clarity, please let's ask. As soon as you receive this training, we pass all the bulk to you. You have all of this.
Just move your body. Hey! I'm almost 60, you know, so. Okay. What's the first letter for coconut? C. Let's go. What's the next one? O. What's the next one? C. Let's go this way. What's the next one? O. What's the next letter? A. Yeah? Or not? N. What's the next letter? U. What's the next letter? T. I will be a bit faster. Give me a C. C. Give me an O. O. Give me a C. C. What's the next one? O. What's the next one? S. What's the next one? U. What's the next one?
Women's rights advocacy. And we simply said, women's rights are the principles, acceptable culture and system that a woman has to enable her to live life as a human being. Woman's right is woman's right. So you can see, as a human being, without fear and hello, and in freedom and honor within her state. Niger State, you are our host. I'm hearing too many voices from that side. Maybe tomorrow we'll mix up. Now we'll mix up. These can be laws that are easier within. It could be state-based, could be nationally based, it could be internationally based. That's why we see law. It is some of these laws that we are now engaging from to bring up our own VAWG in areas of employment, in areas of wanting to make sure that men and women have equal opportunity at gaining employment, in the area of education, wanting to make sure that education, women and girls, boys and girls have equal opportunity in education, and women and men have equal opportunity in political participation. It also discourages all harmful cultural practices that stops a woman. This has to be corrected. Not a woman, it's a woman. That stops a woman, we would look at it before we said to you, from enjoying her rights. So I want to ask this question from the volunteers, and I want the answer to come from us. We have mentioned equality in the areas of education. We have mentioned equalities in the areas of employment. We have also mentioned in the areas of political participation. Which other areas should there be equality between boys and girls for men and women that we have not mentioned? Yes, sir.
Thank you for that wonderful question, man. The area, or areas per se, I believe there should be equality between women and men. The most important one in this 21st century is politics and governance. Thank you.
Which is already here. We are looking for what is not here.
Okay, is there? Okay, after talking about politics and governance, we can talk about equality of the law, or before the law. In terms of, let me explain. You know, when we have illegal cases and you tend to be a woman, there are some elements of negativity that you don't used to get the support. But if there's that breach between doing the right thing, between taking the legal stand, I think women also can benefit more in terms of not necessarily men. So if you can work on that, it will go a long way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clap for him. Another person from the volunteer. Which other area is it important for men and female, women and men, boys and girls, to be equal? Which is happening even within our homes, within our communities, within our religious circles. Can somebody raise up their hand and give us that? I want a volunteer man. Volunteer. It is what we see every day. Volunteers talk now. Don't let it look like, okay.
Okay, thank you. I think aside all this, there should be equality in access to health services.
Thank you. Clap for him. In access to health, equality. Very good. Any other person? You want to say more? You want to thank you.
In house trust.
Hey! Clap for her. Yes. The way we raise our children. Some of the problems the very senior ones that are like this. I'm the head of the family. Who sold that narrative to that child? Most of the problems we have in the community is from the home. That's we say it's an ecosystem. Thank you, ma. Because I wanted to spoil you guys. It starts from the home. From the way we assign chores. Even in some of our schools' books, that narrative is silently there. When we say girls used to sweep, boys used to go to farm, who says that? There are no girls mechanics that are doing fantastically well. Girl carpenter. Yes, sir. Are you a volunteer, sir? Daddy.
We want to solve this problem. Generally, female or woman have the right to choose husband and children.
But this right over there. Okay. Some partners, some right over there. So I want for you to discuss with you and
Yes. But we are looking at areas of equality between men and women. Can we put that within that?
Let me well frame. Maybe I can reframe what is
okay. He said he will try and frame it.
If I may reframe it for him, we are looking in terms of equality.
Yes.
A boy will grow to a maturity age before he think of marriage. But when it comes to a lady of 12, 13 will be forced. Are you getting that to get married? There should be equal right in all this. Let get a mature age that she feels she wants to marry so person. Thank you.
A guy or a boy or a man also allowed to marry a woman of her choice. So under that law, there's an equal. So the most issue between them that the consent of the parent will be had and obtained before the marriage. See.
Any other one? How about in the area of economic empowerment? Economic empowerment. Economic empowerment. A lot of times, maybe some people can go and work, some will not be allowed to work. So economic empowerment, if a man can work, a woman should be able to work. Except she says, I don't want to work. So we think that way they will support the family better. Some women that will say they are not coming out of the abusive marriage, how can they come out when they can't even fend for themselves? Let's not be talking theoretically here. How can they come out? Some of us in this advocacy work, even in WRAPA, we say they will come today and say they are having problems. Then the next time you see them in court, they are wearing ashwebi. How would they wear ashwebi? When the woman has counted her costs and say, if I go out, I can't even buy pants for my children because of the way she has been more like a sit-at-home, fending for the children. No, some of us that are doing advocacy today are still talking. It's because we understood empowerment. There are some women-led homes now that, apart from the fact that you will not see a man, there is nothing they are lacking. That's why in some of these statistics, we've said when you are taking household statistics, please look out for those women-led homes. Somebody, maybe she's a widow and she decides, I don't want to marry again. She has the right to be the lead in her family at that point in time. Or maybe she hasn't even ever married. So, these are issues. Can we be equal so that we can take decisions that will also affect our families and our homes? Somebody else is raising up her hand there. I also think leadership opportunities for men and women, apart from participation on in politics. Some people will never do politics. Or were you going to say it? Yes, sir.
Actually, I wanted to say it's something that has to do with giving women opportunity to air their views in decision-making platforms, which is part of the things we are saying now, for them to decide what goes to their family, what goes to their gender forms, and things like that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Giving voice for women to speak on things that affect their family.
Also inheritance.
Inheritance. I think inheritance will be controversial. Because those who are Muslims believe that the Quran has spoken expressly to that. Am I lying? Yes.
Inheritance.
Am I correct? She said in the issue of inheritance, And I said that may be sensibility or conscious to take that on. Because some people have argued it that in the Quran, that the Quran has stated clearly on what should happen to inheritance. Yes. And the women have been protected. Yes. So we may not be able to take that generally. Am I correct? Yes. But on that of being leaders, because now in the East, if you know the East, I married from Imo State. My late husband is Imo. Let me say precisely. In the East, it is out of place for women. The worst thing you can be is Lord. And who are the Lords? The wife of chiefs. But for you to be called a chief as a woman, but one of our projects now, we are celebrating in the Enugu, we celebrated last week. How many women were made chiefs now in the East? So the narratives are changing. Under the courtesy of IEIA project by the MacArthur Foundation, the WRAPA is championing. So the narratives are changing. So many beautiful things are happening that we say cannot happen before. But for now, we might not generalize. If I say it is still in some part. Even I still believe that from Igbo part, they say, Tofia. But at least it has been able to enter Enugu. From Enugu, can enter another neighboring state. I think, are we not done with that? So that we can conclude today.
Yes, it's 4 o'clock already.
So, you see now, we are going to speak here. Can we take 5 more minutes? We move from here.
Yes,
okay. Please, you may not be able to take more questions. Mama, I am saying. Say.
My problem is this financial income.
Yes.
Empowerment.
Please.
Women empowerment. Actually, there is problem up to now, and we don't know how to change the narrative in some areas up to now. Because we understand that women work 24 hours. Like in labor in the farm, and women are still doing labor in the farm, right now as systems. Even in the house, they do labor. But the payment of the labor, the payment that they are paying them is lesser than the men. So I don't know how to change this narrative. Because women work 24 hours per day. They are the ones who wake up early in the morning, they are the ones who sleep late in the night. And still yet, the husband will not allow them to rest. They will still go to another duty. So what are we saying? We have to change this narrative, man. Thank you.
Yes, I like you bringing on that angle. That is the unpaid care work. And it's very huge, even in this system. Let's not talk into class of activists. Thank you for bringing that on. It's very important. Even those we call full housewives, they work. They do work but it's unpaid for. But who is supposed to pay this? Is it the government? Is it the man? We will take that another day. Can we move on from where we are? If you want us to move on, say yay! Yay! Who is a volunteer? Can we have our role players? Come and role play for us in 5 minutes. Quickly. Who is a volunteer? Role players, please. The 4 of you out here. You have the floor now. The 4 role players, come with your script and come and play your role.
Marisa, I need you to explain to our participants and our volunteers what is supposed to be happening here.
Hello, good afternoon everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
We are going to do a dramatized presentation of a suspected abuse person. That's somebody who is a victim of a violation. And we want to depict a story whereby the victim is going to have support, service, and then gets his or her problem solved. That is by approaching WRAPA, something like that. That is what we want to do by this dramatic presentation.
Let's give them a hand of applause.
Are you ready?
So the character, like, maybe I don't know whether they have the literature for them. We have a volunteer, then we have who's participating.
We have copies. Maybe we should give you copies of the role.
Are you ready? Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dr. Odokaria. I am a volunteer with Women's Rights Advancement and Protection Alternative. I'm here to talk about an important issue today, which is violence against girls and women.
So why do you think this issue is so important?
Of course, it is crucial because we know in our homes, even individually, domestic violence is very, very rampant. And it's not only domestic violence. When we talk about violence, we also have emotional violence, where a wife will tell the husband, I love you, darling, and the husband will just look away without replying the word. That is emotional violence. We also have economic violence, where you deprive the wife of some putting anniversary, kind, champagne, all those small little money that would aid the wife at home. You are depriving the wife. That is economic violence. We also have what? Financial violence and economic violence, they go hand in hand. Then we have psychological violence. You came home, God so knows what actually upsets the man from outside. You came home, your wife is doing welcome back, money and all, and then you decided to be moody. That you are affecting her psychology, directly or indirectly. You understand what I'm saying? All right.
Oh, how can we recognize this?
There are various signs, my sister. You can see a lot of injuries or bruises in the faces of the abusers. Or even in their body. Someone may decide to remove the socks, you see injury there. Or in the faces. Some people may decide to be wearing the black shade. When they remove their eyeglasses, you'll be seeing bruises there. What then happens? You understand? And controlling behavior of the partner. You are the one telling the wife, do this, do that. You are the one telling the girl, do this, do that, all the time, without giving them the mindset to choose what they need to do. You understand? And also sudden changes in their mood or behavior. All those signs are rampant. And of course, we'll discuss more when we meet the next time.
What can we do to help?
Well, my brother, you asked a very, very wonderful question. We can start by educating each other. When we are trying to help the vulnerable ladies or girls or women, we can start by educating each other. We can also continue to provide support to those who are in need and intervene safely when we notice an abuse. Remember, I say safely. Do not intervene because you have the power or authority to intervene. You have to intervene safely when you are trying to provide support. Of course, it's about building a community that is free from violence against women and children and girls per se.
Oh, I know someone who might be going through this. How can we approach them?
There are a lot of people who are going through this, and they used to decide it because they are afraid of what will come afterwards. First and foremost, you need to have empathy. Empathize with them. Put yourself in their shoes. Listen to them without being judgmental. Do not sympathize with them, because as a counselor or psychologist, when you are trying to sympathize with your clients, you are making things worse. They are not going to understand them. They are not going to open up to you. But try to empathize with them. Even with your emotion, facial expressions, do not say, but try to empathize, be calm, be professional about it, and of course, let them know that there are various ways to support them, including connecting them with services like shelters, of course, counseling, and legal needs when the need arises. It's about offering a safe haven for them, or a safe what? Thank you. Do you have further questions?
What is happiness kind of
Safety planning is very, very crucial. We can discuss strategies on how to ensure everyone's safe, as I mentioned earlier. We can't discuss all the things here, but when we meet later, I will tell you about the safety means we need to take, because we need to be acting as professionals that we are in WRAPA.
Thank you for this vital information. It's an eye-opener.
Thank you all for being here and taking an interest in this important issue. Together we can make a difference and create safer communities for all. Thank you.
This is fantastic. If you're a director and you probably roles a play, or you are supposed to just direct a play, and that play is staged, even beyond what you are written, you will do what I did now. Another round of applause for that. Even if you close now, I know some of us already know, because the person that after that is volunteer. In fact, I don't believe this is his first volunteering opportunity, because he did it beyond every former. Another round of applause for them. Another beautiful thing. You can tell me what are the beautiful things you noticed about them. Number one, I saw it first because I'm always looking out for it. Yeah. Educative. One? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Yes. It's so important to me that I can decide equality! Not for her. We have 2 men and we have 2 women. Maybe they were not thinking about it. Yes. But that was the first thing I saw. That's a beautiful one. I think if our video people are quite strategic in ensuring they were shown well, maybe we'll make them a model in other things. Clap for yourself again. So what we have left is not so huge like that. We just want to remind ourselves. How many of us, those 10 volunteers, have volunteered in other maybe organizations before this opportunity? Can we raise up our hand? Okay. No, that's all. Okay, I think it's only 2 our hand. Because now we are not one of the volunteers. So I'll count him and I'll count back our other academy. So I think you have, I'm so happy now. Because you have these people who have understood volunteerism to even bring you up. That's why we have to do when they work. So that you can learn. Those who are with, who knows and encourage those who are learning. And those who are learning and also do something. Why did you decide to volunteer? When they called you, you could have said no. Yes. Can somebody take it to her to leave them? Thank you. I don't like teaching so much. I like practicalizing these things so that it becomes life for us.
Thank you. I think why I responded to the call when I saw it, I am naturally an activist for rights of women. And before I could be seen for my name to be documented here, I think I have partaken in so many activities of WRAPA and I've seen the interest they have for women. And I have already shared the value with them and I felt, let me come fully so that I will be known with you and maybe partner progress this noble cause. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will only take that one. We can go on. The role play has been carried out and we all see. Who can tell us, among the new volunteers, one thing you learned from that meeting? From that role play? Can somebody Tell us one thing you learned. I don't want the man that happened.
One thing that you learned is a small grant.
Among volunteers, tell me one thing you learned from that little display. What were you able to learn?
To know what WRAPA is all about.
You understood what WRAPA is all about from that play?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other person you want to tell us what you understood? Yes, please speak.
Domestic violence.
You learned about domestic violence. Thank you, and over for now. Let's keep moving. Thank you. Understanding volunteerism. Number one, volunteerism is about giving a helping hand to somebody either in distress or in need. And most of the time when you do it, it's without expecting anything back. You don't even first of all think of what you will get. You are first of all thinking of how you will intervene. That is the thought of a volunteer. Some of you are even volunteering without knowing what you are doing with volunteering. Maybe in your religious circles, maybe in your community groups, maybe in other associations you belong to. You are volunteering daily and you don't even know, this is actually what they call volunteering. Lending a hand of support to someone without expecting anything in return. You saw a child on the street. You made inquiries from the police. And they said, fine, if you can keep this child while we are looking for our parents, then before you know it, you have sent the child to school.